As promised in the comment, here another video for foodies, as today I'm going to share with you where to find the best bread and pastries in Paris according to my taste in 2025. Bonjour, my name is Blandine and I am a big fan of bread and pastries, and I'm very picky about food, and for 80% of my life I've lived in or around Paris. So, as a foodie, in a great meal you would need some bread for the cheese and a great dessert. And there are trends there too, so let me help you navigate a sugary topic here. Of course, in this video I will not talk about the bread production process, as we all know how it's made at this point, don't we? First, I will give you the best places to find bread, whether baguette or sourdough bread. Second, I will give you the best pastries addresses. Third, as per request, I will give you some explanations about the pastries. And then I will give you tips, and I will also give you a dedicated address for gluten-free breads and pastries. The good news is that even on a budget, you can enjoy bread and pastries. At least I am. So let's begin with the baguettes. It's very easy to find good baguettes in every main street, and the trend is to buy a tradi. Tradi in French is short for tradition, and tradition is the name of the baguette, meaning you're buying a traditionally made baguette. So you would want to ask, bonjour, pourrais-je avoir une tradition s'il vous plaît? Baguette is a very important topic. And in life there are two kinds of people. There are some who like crouton and some who don't like crouton. In my family we all like crouton. Crouton being the crust corner of the baguette. What I will look for though is first and foremost organic bread, whether for baguette or for sourdough bread. And sourdough bread is in French pain au levain, levain being sourdough. Each year in Paris there is a baguette contest organized by the city of Paris. And funny story here, I happened to buy a baguette from the winner the day they won the prize. I was trying this baguette for the purpose of this video, and it was really good. The bakery name is La Parisienne and they have 7 stores in Paris. They won the prize once in 2016 and this year again, and this year they also won the Best Pastries prize. As a consequence, they officially catered the presidential office back then in 2016. La Parisienne means Parisian, so Parisian bread, and it's also the word you would use to describe a woman living in Paris. So it's kind of a play on word here. For me, the best bakery, boulangerie in French, for baguettes would be Thierry Marx Bakery. And they are very good and they are organic too. Thierry Marx is a very well-renowned chef and businessman and the founder of Thierry Marx Bakeries. Their sandwich was delicious too. You can find 3 stores in Paris of Thierry Marx Bakeries. The one at Beau Passage is a very interesting one because it's a nice quiet street with no car and you can have an outside space for having lunch. It's not very well known, it's a little bit tricky to find, but it's a very interesting place if you're on a budget. 2 other very good bakeries would be La Boulangerie de la Tour or Eric Kayser Bakery near Notre-Dame in Paris 5th arrondissement. And if you're visiting Montmartre, you would find a very good bakery on the opposite side of the hill. In a bakery, you would find pain, bread, viennoiserie, like croissant, and pâtisserie, like pastries, cakes. Viennoiserie could also be un pain au chocolat, it's like croissant with chocolate bar in it inside, un pain au raisin, like a roll with custard and raisins, or un chausson aux pommes, which is a pastry filled with applesauce. Typically, you would have them for the snack in the afternoon. Now, sourdough bread. Where would you find the best sourdough bread in Paris? my best choice would be right now at the store Des Gâteaux et du Pain from Claire d'Amont. I happened to find this bakery recently and I'm very fond of it. There are only 2 stores in Paris and you can tell by the smell that the bread is really crusty and delicious. And it's really crusty and delicious. And the line outside the stores on a Sunday noon would tell you that the pastries are really delicious too. But more on the pastries later. So in this store they would have great sourdough bread but no baguettes. Le pain poilâne sourdough loaf would be a great choice for me too, and I would go to their oldest store in Paris, located at Rue du Cherche-Midi, in the heart of Saint-Germain-des-Prés. And this Poilâne bakery is still the nerve center of the internationally renowned company since it was founded in 1932. For a great meal, I would always buy baguettes plus sourdough breads, as sourdough breads would keep longer, whereas the baguette would dry quickly. At Pane Vivo, an Italian guy uses stone ground Sicilian wheat, fermented exclusively with natural sourdough, and it's low gluten but not gluten-free, and it's very good. It's said that there are 1,200 bakeries in Paris and that 93% of Parisians live within a 5-minute walk of a bakery. Of course, I would spend some time cooking for my loved ones, but when comes time for cooking dessert, I won't spend too much time on cooking and I would rather choose a very beautiful cake. So, what are the best pastries addresses in Paris right now? And my favorite one is also Des Gâteaux et du Pain or Pierre Hermé and Cyril Lignac pastries. At Des Gâteaux et du Pain, she uses as much organic products as she can, or she sources the products very carefully. If you go around Place Saint-Sulpice, you would find next to another at a 4-minute walk Cyril Lignac and Pierre Hermé. You would also have a lot of classical pastry stores. You would take no risk by going there. Pastry would be delicious and you would find many stores. For instance, Le Nôtre, I'm a big fan, Dalloyau, Angelina, La Durée, and the La Durée on the Champs-Élysées is the one you would want to go because it's a big one and it's very beautiful and renovated. At La Durée, you might want to try the Ispahan cake, which is a great one. As a matter of fact, a lot of them have a coffee shop space, salon de thé, where you can enjoy your pastries with maybe a tea for a snack. Ispahan is a rose macaroon topped with rose-scented cream, garnished with fresh raspberries and lychees. It's a great one. It has become one of the most iconic pastries of La Durée. Also, Michalak is a very trendy one. At Beau Passage, the address I mentioned for the baguette for Thierry Marx, you would also find a Pierre Hermé coffee shop in this little outside courtyard. Copain is another store where they are growing very well too, and they are dedicated to gluten-free pastries. Copain meaning buddies in French. Oh, as a salon de thé, coffee shop, with great pastries, I mentioned earlier in other videos La Maison Élysée, and La Maison Élysée is a great place to have a pastry too. Oui, merci. Now let me give you a little bit of explanation of those famous pastries that we have here and that are delicious. I mean, I think they are. Let's begin with the flan. It's not my favorite one, except if it's made by a very famous chef. This pastry comes from the Middle Ages, and it's a budget-friendly one. And every country has a kind of flan. The best one here in Paris would be Le Flan by Pierre Hermé. L'opéra was created by Loyau so that with its long shape, you can taste it all at once at a concert. Le financier is shaped like a gold bar, and financier in French means financial. Le Paris-Brest is a wheel-shaped choux pastry crown filled with a praline muslin cream. It was invented for the Paris-Brest cycle race, a race between Paris and Brest, another town in west side of France. Le Saint-Honoré has a puff pastry base and is mounted with cream-filled choux and covered with Madagascar vanilla whipped cream. Small caramel-covered choux are on the top of it. Le baba au rhum is a great classic. A rhum baba is a small yeast cake saturated in syrup made with rum and sometimes filled with whipped cream. It dates back to 1835. Here you would see a tarte aux poires, and between the crust and the roasted pears you have an almond cream. Speaking of pie, a very classic one here in France is la tarte tatin. Tarte means pie, and la tarte tatin is a pie cooked upside down. So you melt caramel in the dish, you put the apple and then you put the crust. And then it goes in the oven. When it's cooked, you turn it upside down and then it cools with the caramel on top of it. It's easy, it's delicious and it's classic. A popular myth tells that the tarte tatin was created accidentally by two sisters whose name was Tatin. Lemon meringue pie is a very classic too, and it's a shortened pastry base filled with lemon curd and topped with meringue. Fruit desserts covered with baked meringue were found in books dating back to the 1730s. Un Mont Blanc or un Mont Blanc au marron is a great one too. It's a dessert of sweetened chestnut puree in the form of vermicelli topped with whipped cream. It was also created in the 19th century, and the name comes from Mont Blanc in the Alps, as it resembles a snow-capped mountain, and Mont Blanc means white mountain. Angelina is very well known for les Mont Blanc. Now another great one is les éclairs, meaning lightning. An éclair is a pastry made with choux dough filled with cream and topped with flavored icing. Everyone's favorite flavor is different. Some prefer coffee, some prefer chocolate, some prefer vanilla, caramel, rose. The name comes from the fact that it's really quickly eaten, in a flash. And it also dates back to the 1800s. Un millefeuille, meaning 1,000 sheets, also known by the names of Napoleon in North America, is made of puff pastry layered with pastry cream. The top layer is finished in various ways. It may be dusted with icing sugar, or it may be also glazed with icing. La tarte tropézienne is another great one. It's also known as la tarte de Saint-Tropez, and it's a dessert pastry consisting of a half brioche filled with a mix of two creams, thick pastry cream and buttercream, and it's topped with pearl sugar. Saint-Tropez being the little famous harbor in south of France. And bakers will all reinvent new forms of these classic pastries over and over again. Now let me give you some tips. So, the only enemy of a good baguette is your bathroom scale, because baguette is pure sugar. Or wet weather, because it will turn your crusty baguette into a soft, moist bread. In that case, your toaster would be your best friend. You would be able to find great gluten-free bread and pastries at Chambellan. I have tried a lot of things and they are very delicious. They have 2 stores in Paris. You'll find the best baguettes and the best croissants in most of the bakeries, but what is best is when you get them early in the morning when they are freshly baked. Even though I love what is beautiful, I will always choose quality and taste over beautiful and hype. Even if some chefs make some very beautiful cakes, I would rather choose organic or sourced products and quality. But this is me. Here are 2 addresses for the best ice creams in Paris. Bertillon is my favorite one, and Ducasse is doing very great ice creams too. As per the best butter, you would want to buy beurre Bordier, and you would find it in many of the cheesemongers I mentioned in the previous video. The best butter you would want to try is le beurre Bordier with algae, with seaweeds, and it's a dinguerie, meaning it's crazy good. Should you need to find a store where you can find everything and beyond for cooking, you would want to go to Ile-Rhin or at the BHV Marais. It's such an old store, it smells old in it. Of course, this video is not complete and there are still many places I would like to try in Paris. Et voilà, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was interesting to you, I would be thrilled if you would leave a blue thumb up, and why not subscribe. Until next time, thank you for your time, enjoy Paris! Whereas the baguette would write quickly. Max Boulangerie And here's what I cooked yesterday! Ta-da! Of course, this is an April Fool's. I would love to be able to make such wonders. I love it. La tarte tropézienne.